What's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB, and I'm back. And I've missed this. Oh, I've missed this so much. Just messing around on Total Extreme Wrestling, having fun, booking shows for you guys. It's a grand old time. Some of you may notice what I got up. It is an invasion. It's not any special series that I've talked about in the past. Um, I haven't put Invasion on this new laptop that I have right now. Yes, I've got a new laptop. A very good friend of mine actually let me have one of his old laptops that he no longer uses. It's not the best laptop in the world, but it gets the job done, especially for Total Extreme Wrestling. I haven't moved any of the files over. I haven't moved Invasion over or anything else as of right now. I'm going to do a longer video on that as like an update video of like an I'm back kind of thing. But I've been booking this for a long time. In fact, I probably should be going to bed. It's midnight. I have work at 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, so this would be the ideal time to get your 8 hours, but who cares? I've been booking this for a long time. I wanted to get it out of the way right now to have fun and see what you guys think about this new series that I'm going to be bringing to the channel alongside Invasion and anything else, because as of right now, this series is going to become a Total Extreme Wrestling, or this channel, I should say, is going to be mostly Total Extreme Wrestling. I was starting to try to branch off into like more Let's Plays and other content like streaming and stuff, but with this new laptop, it's going to kind of prevent it from me. I'm going to try to do a little bit of side projects here and there, but 2 is where it's at, so we're sticking to it. But anyway, like I was going on about, this new series right here that we're doing, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm not booking anything. You guys aren't booking anything. In fact, you guys may be wondering what the title of the series mean. It's called WWE Books Total Extreme Wrestling, and it's exactly how it sounds. Pretty much every show that WWE does, probably minus NXT unless I make it a brand, but I might not do that. Who knows? We'll see where I go with this. It's already kind of a hassle. Pretty much Raw, SmackDown, and 205 Live, along with pay-per-views and everything. I'm going to book exactly what WWE books. I'm going to watch the show, time it all out, kind of skip forward in parts, pretty much how it works. What I did here is I replayed the show, skipped up a minute each time, and until the segment was over, and then pretty much added it like that. It did come to a point where after I booked the entire show that 20 minutes was left, so I did those stupid post-WrestleMania hypes. By the way, this is the Raw after WrestleMania, so we're starting after Raw WrestleMania, and I'm going to try to catch up to current WWE as quick as I can, but that might take a couple days, maybe even a week. Without further ado, though, like I was saying, this is WWE Books Total Extreme Wrestling. We will see if WWE, in Total Extreme Wrestling terms, can keep their company afloat, or if they will eventually be the cause of their downfall. I have gone ahead and booked the entire show from the Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon makeup / not makeup angle all the way to our main event of the Miztourage taking on Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Jeff Hardy, and then the winning team beating down on the Miztourage for shits and giggles. So without further ado, nerds and geeks, let's just see how WWE does. This show should be kind of interesting, though, because with it being, the first show of a new mod that goes on to, ensure that some people might not have their, oh, shit. I forgot to start storylines. Let's do that real quick. But that might go on to ensure that some people, their gimmicks have to be changed. They have to be turned to a face or a heel. Stuff like that. By the way, this is not the most current version of Total Extreme Wrestling. I've been too lazy to update it myself. I haven't gone ahead and added in my graphics pack where it has the grades and the numbers on it, so we're just going to have to deal with what we have right now. Real quick, I am going to go ahead and create some story here. So we got Ronda and Stephanie. And of course, these could always change. It depends on what WWE goes with. It's going to be a little hard keeping up with them sometimes, especially when it comes to like Royal Rumble time and stuff, but that's a long ways away, so there's no real point to be, or real reason to be thinking that far ahead. All right, let's get our Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar feud in here. All right. Also, apologies if you hear a bunch of typing and all that. I forgot all about this part. I gotta. Oh, we didn't want to do that. Get AOP out of our face. figure out what other rivalries I had started here. We have the Intercontinental rivalry, which as of right now is Rollins v. Miz v. Balor. We'll see where WWE goes with that. Despite the Miz's call over to SmackDown, he is still a part of this feud, at least until the greatest Royal Rumble ever, which, yes, I will be booking the greatest Royal Rumble ever as well. Nia Jax and Bliss. Sorry, guys. I probably should have waited beforehand, but, we already started recording, so might as well just continue. We got Nia and Bliss, and then what else do we have? Sasha and Bailey. Oops. There we go. It's also a tinier keyboard than my last laptop, so I have to get used to typing on this thing too. Anything else? I think that's good. I mean, we could do the SmackDown feuds as well, but it really doesn't matter because they're not on this show, so yeah. I think that'll do it for now. Kind of sucks for though because it doesn't leave us with a whole lot of feuds. So I don't imagine this going over too well right off the back, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so let's run this off. So we started off with a B- angle. This is the whole Stephanie coming out and putting over Ronda just for Ronda Rousey to break her arm once again. Strong start for the show. Crowd was hot for it. We are on the Smoothie King in front of 8274 people. I don't know if that's good, to be honest. I don't remember. I don't believe that's a sold out. I'm just gonna say I don't believe we sold out. Oh, okay, yeah. Here's our first gimmick change. She has a below average MMA fighter, so we're just gonna change it to martial artist and get her great. I'm gonna try to help WWE out as much as I can here with gimmicks and whatnot that try to make it similar to the gimmick that they're trying to run. Like I'll do the best I can for them, but at the same time, WWE writes themselves in their own hole. If there's a show that is more matches than angles or more angles than matches, then that's just how it has to go. All right, we then go to the C plus here, where it's just hyping up Roman Reigns later on tonight. There's going to be a couple of those ones. We then go to yet another hype up segment, hyping up Seth Rollins later on tonight, and then our final hype up segment of the opening part of the show gets a horrible rating of an E rating, where it's hyping up that the new women's champion Nia Jax will be coming out next. Oh man, we got ourselves yet another gimmick. Or another. Oh no, she's turning to a face. Might as well. Complete success. I imagine a lot of those aren't going to go as a complete success because there are probably a few of them that we have to do. Either way, we go into our D- angle here with Nia Jax cutting her promo about being the new Raw Women's Champion. Then, of course, being interrupted by Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, who call Nia Jax a bully. And then tell her how she has no friends, which leads to Nia Jax introducing former NXT Women's Champion and the newest member to the Raw Women's Division, Ember Moon. D-. Yeah, there you go. Cooled the crowd. It's expected. Nia Jax improving in acting and showing more charisma, so good for her. And we got more changes. Mickie James is now going to become not only a lackey, but she's going to become a heel. Oh, complete the whole turn. So she got an average rating on her lackey gimmick and complete success for her heel turn. We jump into our tag team match that also is Ember Moon's debut. It gets a D- rating here in an abysmal match. Nia Jax and Ember Moon go over Alexa Bliss and Mickie James in 4 minutes, 19 seconds after Ember Moon defeats Alexa Bliss with the Eclipse. Cooled the crowd a little as well. Ember Moon had an E+ in-ring performance. Nia Jax with an E+ as well. Mickie James with a D-, and Alexa Bliss with the best of a solid D. Got a lot of improvements here. Mickie James is improving in flying and performance. Ember Moon's improving in technical and performance. Alexa Bliss improving in rumble, technical, flying, and performance. And Nia Jax improving in performance. So, good on all of you there. We then go to a C plus rating here as Braun Strowman and Nicholas, who of course isn't here, go on to vacate their Raw Tag Team Championships. This, of course, will turn Braun Strowman as well because for some reason he's a face. It went pretty well. There you go. So Braun Strowman vacates the tag titles. Then No Way Jose is hyped up for his debut next. And I'm actually going to wait till the match to change his gimmick. There we go. So we got the D minus, his entrance. Let's go ahead and change his turn as well. Look at that. Too many shocks. Went badly. Sucks for No Way Jose, but we'll be honest. I don't expect. I like No Way Jose. I just don't expect him to have the best main roster debut. Either way, there you go. No Way Jose. Apparently not suited to his gimmick, so might have to change that. I'll help you out, WWE. Let's do gimmicks, and then No Way Jose, NWJ. So he does his entrance for the first time ever, conga line, and then he has a match against a jobber who was originally John Schuyler, but for some reason John Schuyler is not a part of our developmental company, which technically I guess he should, and he is not a local talent of the Smoothie King Center, so I could not get John Schuyler, so I just ended up borrowing yet another no-name developmental talent that we had named Marcel Barthel, and had him do the deed for No Way Jose. So we have an abysmal match here. No Way Jose going over Marcel Barthel with the fastball punch after a minute 34. Brought the crowd down. No Way Jose got an E in-ring performance, and Marcel Barthel with an E-. Marcel's improving in Rumble and performance, and No Way Jose technical and performance. So good on him. We then lead to a solid D rating here. It's our first post-WrestleMania hype video. Just, of course, highlighting matches that happened at WrestleMania. Charlotte Flair and Asuka, and the tag team match between Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan, Owens, and Zayn was chosen for this one. Nothing special. We then go to a C- rating here, where Kurt Angle announces to both Cesaro and Sheamus that he's not going to give them the tag team titles, that they will have a match. I believe it's at the Greatest Royal Rumble ever, or it's at Backlash. I think it's the Greatest Royal Rumble ever, where Cesaro and Sheamus will face the winners of our Tag Team Eliminator, which he announces here tonight. You remember that, guys? The Tag Team Eliminator, instead of calling it a tournament or whatever. So we jump into our first match of the Tag Team Eliminator. Gets a solid D rating here. We have a bout that had terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. The Revival going over Anderson and Gallows in 6 minutes, 7 seconds after Dash Wilder defeats Carl Anderson with the Shatter Machine. Anderson and Gallows have great chemistry. It did cool the crowd. Gallows and Anderson hitting at a face turn. We aren't turning them just yet because I didn't put that in here. But technically they're faces, so we got to do that. Luke Gallows with a D plus in-ring performance. Carl Anderson with a C-, the best of the match. Dash Wilder with a D-, the worst of the match. And Scott Dawson with a D. So pretty much they all went up. D-, D, D+, and then a C-. Have a couple of improvements as well. Gallows improving in Rumble and performance. Anderson improving in flying and performance. Dawson's improving in technical and performance. And Dash Wilder improving in technical as well. We then move on to a solid C rating here. The second time that we are hyping up the new Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins. But this time, he's coming out next. And that leads us into our big angle here, which gets a C- rating here. Seth Rollins makes his way down to the ring, hypes up being, the new Intercontinental Champion, and finally, becoming a Grand Slam champion alongside Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. This, of course, leads to the "You Deserve It" chant, and then it leads to Finn Balor coming out and talking about how he beat The Miz, but he didn't beat him, and that, Finn wants to be the first person to challenge Seth. Seth and Finn shake on it, which leads to The Miz coming out, saying that Finn pretty much is in the back of the line and that Miz is owed his shot. And that leads to what looks like there's going to be a fight between Miz and the Miztourage, between Rollins and Balor. But that's when the returning Jeff Hardy comes back. And he joins and chases off the Miz and Miztourage. And, of course, we eventually find out that there's going to be a 6-man tag match later on tonight. Unfortunately, apparently Maurice was here, so I'm going to have to take her off. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Maurice off Miz. And I don't mean that in a sexual way. Jeff Hardy apparently performed poorly in this segment. Speaking of Jeff Hardy, he's going to have a new gimmick change because he's got a poor gimmick. So we're just going to change him to a fan favorite because, well, he is. Below average. It didn't even do that much better. Good. Finn Balor's improving in acting, though, so that's a plus. Then we go to our second Roman Reigns hype segment of the night. Gets a solid C rating. We're definitely going to see the big dog tonight here, guys. Moving on, we go to a D+ rating, which hypes up our upcoming match between Sasha Banks and Mandy Rose. Apparently, there's a gimmick turn in here. No, not yet. See, this one's actually being built. They haven't officially turned Sasha, to my knowledge, so we're building that. They might not even turn her, for all I know. It could be a tease. So let's move on. Before we can get on to the match, though, we get the confirmation, which gets a solid D rating here between the six-man tag match confirmation, between Rollins, Balor, and Jeff Hardy taking on Miz and the Miztourage. All right. We then lead into our women's match here, which gets a D- rating, and an abysmal match. It's actually pretty accurate. Mandy Rose goes over Sasha Banks in 8 minutes, 14 seconds by pinfall with a bed of roses, followed by a botched interference by Bayley. There's also, of course, Banks and Mandy Rose, of course, being distracted by Bayley when she came out. Mandy Rose was really off her game, apparently. Corey Graves and Coach apparently have good chemistry when calling matches together. Mandy Rose with an in-ring performance of an E-, and Sasha Banks with a D+. Sasha's improving in performance, and Mandy is improving in Rumble in performance. As we jump into our next segment here, let me just double check. Yep, that's Sasha. Okay. We go into Paige's retirement speech, which gets a C+ rating here. Paige, of course, announcing her retirement from WWE. Masterful job interacting with the crowd because I did let her go off and, be, unscripted. It is a retirement. She is going to be turning face, but I'll wait until we announce her as the SmackDown general manager to officially turn her face. All right, so we get a B- rating here. That's kind of horrible considering that this is The Undertaker and John Cena, but this is their stupid Dead Man Risen thing where they highlighted or hyped up the John Cena and Undertaker match from WrestleMania. We then look. That was just the hype up segment for the actual segment where we look back on the Undertaker versus Cena from WrestleMania, which also featured Elias in there, and that got a C+ rating. Speaking of Elias, we go on to Elias's live show concert, which gets interrupted by the returning Bobby Lashley. That got a D+ rating. Complete the gimmick change for Bobby Lashley and get him a average rating for his Man on a Mission gimmick. I should have probably made a feud between these two now that I think about it, but what can you do? Too late now. We then lead to a C+ rating here as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn ask Kurt Angle for their a job. He tells them that TNA is hiring, and then proceeds to tell them that the tag team division is filled, and he only has room for one slot for them, and they'll face each other tonight in one-on-one action with the winner getting a Raw contract. And then we get, our second post-Mania hype segment of the night, which gets a D+ rating, hyping the matches between Triple H and Stephanie versus Kurt and Ronda, Seth Rollins, The Miz, and Finn Balor, and then Cedric Alexander winning the Cruiserweight Championship. And then we lead into a solid D rating here as Heath Slater and Rhino issue an open challenge because Slater's got kids. And who accepts that open challenge but the debuting former NXT Tag Team Champions and Dusty Rhodes Classic winners, the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor. Apparently Paul Ellring's not suited to his gimmick, but we won't have to worry about that too long, shall we? We lead into the matchup, which gets an E+ rating. Ooh, WWE, you guys are striking out with this Raw at WrestleMania. To be fair, Total Extreme Wrestling isn't the kindest game to WWE's booking, if you ask me. Either way, E+ rating in an abysmal match. The Authors of Pain go over Heath Slater and Rhino 2 minutes and 24 seconds after Razor defeats Heath Slater by pinfall. You also do have to Take into account that there is, a mod creator behind this. I believe this is the Who 87. It's the guy I usually download. So some of the people may not be the most accurate representations of their characters. Some might be. I just think it's the cruel reality. Where are we at? Rhino had a D plus rating, best of the match. Heath Slater with a solid D, and Razor and Akeem both with a solid E rating. Slater is improving in Rumble and performance. Razor improving in Rumble technical and performance, and Akeem is improving in Rumble technical and performance as well. Good on the AOP there. As we go to a solid C rating here, that's actually really good if I say so myself. Solid C rating here of the AOP telling Paul Ellering that they no longer need him. We then lead to a B- rating here as Roman Reigns is officially coming out next, everybody. Here comes the big dog. But before we can get the big dog, we got to announce that at the greatest Royal Rumble ever, it'll be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship, which gets a solid B. And what do you mean? Who do we got to turn? Oh, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, go for it. I don't care. It's whatever. Brock Lesnar's the heel, but it technically does. It is bad because he gets cheered. So I guess it's accurate there. Total Cheering Wrestling. We then lead into the Roman Reigns segment where he talks about his promo on Brock Lesnar and not knowing and feeling like he was kept out of the loop, which leads to a returning Samoa Joe coming out, calling Roman out, saying how many times have you got, and how he's going to take him out pretty much. This got the crowd interested again, so that's good. And then we lead to a solid D rating here as we hype up once again for the second time tonight that our main event of the night will be Seth Rollins, the new Intercontinental Champion, Finn Balor, and Jeff Hardy taking on The Miz and The Miztourage. We also hype up the fact that we will also see Kevin Owens taking on Sami Zayn, with the winner receiving a Monday Night Raw contract. That gets a C-. There's a lot of stupid little segments like this, guys. Monday Night Raw does this way too much. We then go to a third post-Mania hype segment here, which gets a solid D, highlighting the matches between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, and the tag team match between Braun Strowman and The Bar. It actually gained heat for that feud. That's kind of embarrassing. And then we lead into it's not a backstage promo. It's like an in-between promo. Titus Worldwide, Titus O'Neil, and Apollo Crews are already in the ring. When Matt Hardy is on the screen, he hypes up his win about the Andre the Giant Memorial. And now it is time for the Expedition of Gold, which leads to Bray Wyatt coming in, and they do the whole "we're here," and out they come for their matchup against Titus Worldwide. Again, we're going to have another turn that is not going to go good. But it was a disaster. Lovely, complete disaster. We're gonna have a lot of money being thrown people's way. Bray Wyatt improvised well. Titus O'Neil not suited to his gimmick, but that's okay. Let's move forward to a D+ rated matchup here, and a terrible match. Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt go over Titus Worldwide in 5 minutes 48 seconds when Matt Hardy defeats Apollo with the Twist of Fate. Titus O'Neil not suited to his gimmick, so that's another person that I've got to check. All right. Matt Hardy really off his game here tonight. Apollo sustained a dislocated wrist. That's going to put a nail in the coffin sometimes if someone gets injured. I don't think that's a serious injury, but sometimes that might suck if someone gets injured and I can't do it for WWE. Apollo with an in-ring performance of a D-. Titus O'Neil with a solid D. Bray Wyatt with a C-, and Matt Hardy with a D+. Bray Wyatt is improving in Rumble, technical, and flying skills. Oh, and performance. Titus O'Neil is improving in Rumble, technical, and performance. And Apollo is improving in Rumble and performance. So there you have that. First time we see the team of Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, and it does not really go over too well if you ask two. We then get a recap of Ronda Rousey's attack on Stephanie McMahon earlier in the night, which gets a solid C rating. D+ rating here, as we are hyping up the fact that Owens takes on Sami Zayn next. And we lead into the match. Nothing in between. We just jump right into it. C+ rating here, and about that had decent wrestling, but not much weighing heat. We have a draw between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn when both competitors failed to beat the 10 count from the referee after 5 minutes and 48 seconds, thus leaving both without a contract to Monday Night Raw. Zayn and Owens have great chemistry. Kevin Owens with a C+ rating and Sami Zayn with a B-. Zayn with a improving in Rumble and performance, and Kevin Owens improving in Rumble, technical, flying, and performance. It's not often you see Sami Zayn outperform Kevin Owens, but there you go. So no one earns the contract here. Before we lead into our main event 6-man tag team match of the night, we get a little bit of an interesting interaction between Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy as Jeff, Finn, and Seth Rollins all make their way down to the ring. Matt, he comes across Matt. They do a whole kind of woken promo with each other, which leaves both Finn and Seth Rollins very confused. Jeff Hardy is getting better at his gimmick as well. Before we jump into our main event of the night, we have our last post-WrestleMania feud, or post-WrestleMania hype, as we hype up the matches between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, the United States match between Randy Orton, Jinder Mahal, Bobby Roode, and Rusev was supposed to be on there. I don't know why I didn't. And then Luke Harper and Eric Rowan's tag team title win. The Bludgeon Brothers. Okay, we then lead into a D- rating before we get into our main event, which hypes up the fact that next week it'll be the Woken Warriors, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt taking on the Revival, winner of course facing the Bar at the greatest Royal Rumble ever. Jesus, there's so many of these. I warned you guys. Solid D rating here, as we get a hype that next week we'll see Bayley take on Sasha Banks. So there we have that. And then I believe this is just the Sasha Banks thing. Finally, we lead to our main event of the night, which gets a C- rating here. And about that had subpar wrestling and little heat to it. The team of WWE Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Jeff Hardy go over The Miz and The Miztourage, The Miz, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel. And 9 minutes, 53 seconds after Seth Rollins defeats The Miz with the ripcord knee. Miz and... whatever. That doesn't count. Maurice is supposed to not be there. Curtis Axel had an in-ring performance of a D-. Bo Dallas with the worst in-ring performance of an E+. The Miz with a solid C, which is actually the best, tied for the best with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. And Jeff Hardy with a C- in-ring performance. Miz is improving in Rumble, technical, flying, and performance skills. Seth Rollins improving in Rumble and performance skills. Bo Dallas improving in technical and performance. Finn Balor improving in Rumble and performance. And that's it. No improvements for Curtis Axel or Jeff Hardy. But wait, there's more! And then WWE decided to end it off with some stupid generic angle of Jeff Hardy, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins, all respectively hitting their finishing moves on Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. So we end off Monday Night Raw with a D+ rating. And oh boy, WWE, I don't like how this goes. I can already tell you guys right now, I don't think WWE is going to make it past the year. Whoo, boy! Here we go with a post-WrestleMania, a post-Raw WrestleMania rating of a D+. Fans were annoyed at the amount of non-wrestling segments that they had to sit through. There was a lot of them. The general feeling is that WWE don't have enough interesting storylines going on. That's a part, at fault of the mod because it's not counting in, post-WrestleMania. That's at fault of me because, well, maybe I didn't book the Elias Bobby Lashley. That could have been the saving grace, But it's mostly WWE's fault for making shit stories. I mean, this was all them. If they would have made a good Raw, their storylines would have been, better. Again, like I mentioned before, this is a mod. So, the Who, when making it, might have, not have given people the best rankings ever. But, still, things aren't looking good, WWE. What do we just lose, like 40-something popularity in regions? Yay, buddy. That's okay. I'd imagine that there's going to be a lot of money being thrown some people's ways who are furious with their turns and gimmicks and stuff like that, not being allowed to go unscripted, things like that. So I imagine a lot of money being thrown the way of certain people. With that being said, though, guys, I don't know how long this is going to take because this, like I said, this is a not the best laptop in the world, but it gets the job done. So this might take a while. So while this is going on, I am going to say my goodbyes. I hope you guys enjoy this new series that we're going to be doing. I will be uploading a little bit randomly with this series as I just kind of finish and try to catch up to WWE right now. That way we can do it at a more, you know, steady rates. You know, if Monday right Raw, I can do Tuesday for that episode after Raw, so on and so forth, instead of having to just try to catch up all the time. Invasion should be on the way. I have an idea of what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna have to do like I'm gonna do a copy of the save. That way I don't completely get rid of the save if I mess it up, and then we can still try to do it. I'm gonna try to get Invasion back, and I still have my WWE and some of my previous LPs or previous saves from my other laptop, you know, when I did the move from California to Arizona. So now that I have a general idea on how to do that, there might be a way for me to save those ones too. But like I said, I am going to make an update video probably a little later today, so I'll talk a little bit more on that. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoy this series, and it'll be interesting to see how well WWE does against two, because like I said, Total Extreme Wrestling isn't really kind to the way WWE would be booking things right now. Like, I can't imagine how Jinder Mahal being WWE champion would have gone over in Total Extreme Wrestling. Like, he went from a jobber to champion. Like, two would have been like, what are you doing? This is the stupidest idea you've ever had. Nonetheless, I do think once things start lining up in place, because like I said, this is the beginning of the series, so there are characters that had to have gimmicks change, characters that had to have, you know, turns to heels or faces, so on and so forth. So there was a lot going against it in the first episode, as there usually is with these new Total Extreme Wrestling series, because you kind of got to get set in place. But it's not me booking, it's WWE, so we'll see if WWE ever gets themselves set in place. But I'm gonna try my hardest. Hey, look at that, we have a couple of things here. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Identified steroid user. I guess we're just gonna give him a fine because WWE didn't suspend him, so I'm not gonna suspend him. So there you have it. Look at that. Doesn't seem it went down particularly well. Something that's interesting here is Eric Anthony is rising. Like, that's, oh boy. Enzo Amore. Alarm bells are ringing around WWE as strong rumors are circulating. The company, nope, we're not doing anything. I don't know where you're getting these rumors from. Oh look, we've fallen to national size. Oh, USA Network is not happy with Monday Night Raw. I don't blame them, dude. That Raw sucked. I knew it sucked as I was booking it. Matt Hardy says Bo Dallas has poor in-ring psychology. The Miz says he's your guy, Miz. Curtis Axel doesn't connect with the fans. That's your boy, and you said that about him. All right, before we send this off, I'm just curious, how much do we have? Brock Lesnar, why do you have a morale issue? Oh, his botched turn, that's right. So we got some money to be handing out to people. I won't let... I mean, here's the thing. I don't know how do we book this? Like, if WWE just gets down to, like, local, or, like, what am I doing? Because I don't want to do, like, money issues, because that's not going to be... I'm just going to probably keep WWE rich as possible. I think what the plan is once they, like, get down to the point where, like, they're, like, below cult level, I think I've considered them a failure. But I've noticed that we have main event and all that. I am going to probably cancel main event and those other shows, because there's really no reason to do that stuff. So let me go to broadcasting real quick, and we are just going to cancel main event. In fact, can I just do it on the shows? If I can't do it on the shows, I'm just going to end the video. But if I can, we'll work out. If I can find the damn shows. Is it scheduled? Oh, 205's not on here. Well, we'll just turn main event to 205 then. Yeah, that's what we'll do. How do I edit that? Modify event? Is that what we're trying to do? Modify event? No, not the Royal Rumble. Whatever. I know there's a way to do it. I can't think of it right now. I thought it was the schedule, but I guess not. It's broadcasting, isn't it? I gotta figure out how to rename the damn show. Whatever, I'll do that off camera, guys. Like I said, let me know what you guys think about the show, and we're back, baby. We're back in business, and expect some uploads. Expect them to be coming out once I get some of that evasion stuff over. If I can, we're jumping right back in that stuff. We were too close to WrestleMania. I'm gonna be catching back up with WWE with this series, and I've got some other stuff planned. So, as always, my name's been OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.